Hello, everybody, and welcome to my very first Facebook Live webinar. I have done lots of seminars and workshops in my day, but this is my first live Facebook, so be gentle. I might have some technical difficulties. Anyway, thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Kathleen Mojas. I am a clinical psychologist. I have over 30 years of experience working in my private practice in Beverly Hills. And I do specialize in trauma. I help people heal from the impact of trauma and also teach them a lot of brain-based, evidence-based techniques so they can get out of the fight or flight and stress response. It can help people to overcome blocks to change and also hopefully increase overall feelings of happiness, not just decrease pain. Anyway, I'm here today because I got this big idea just within this last week to try to just give some tips to, oh, hi Kai, I see Kai just joined, to help everybody just get some tips. Hope everybody can join and also tell me, in addition to the tips I'm going to get today, if you have any questions, concerns, issues you'd also like me to address at the end. I welcome all comments and feedback and suggestions. I really just wanted to help. Obviously, we are in an unprecedented experience right now. This is the first time we've had to face something like a pandemic in our time, and there is a collective sense of fear. I think we're all feeling it. A lot of people feel very isolated. Everything feels very out of control. So, you know, every morning we're waking up to these rising numbers of disease, death, lack of medical supplies, and the news is never good, unless you've been hiding out with Netflix. Anyway, so my goal is really just to support people today in any way that I can and offer some of these tips that I've learned in the last 30 years of specializing in brain-based, evidence-based techniques. We are all in this together. I think we all need extra support right now. And I think we should all do our part to help uplift and support each other. I think everybody has something to give and to offer. This is just my little way of giving back today. Welcome, Audrey. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody. This is, I just want to give a few minutes for people to join and get on. Just give me a little thumbs up. Let me know you're joining. I also noticed that within the last week, me along with many of my friends and clients have had this sort of nouveau corona paranoia. Like every little symptom that I have, you start to wonder, you know, I have allergies and I've been sneezing a lot this week. But could it be coronavirus? God, I got a bad headache, and come to think of it, I think I feel a little achy and fevery all over. Could it be COVID-19? I think I realized I wasn't the only one having imaginary symptoms and feeling a little paranoid. So I started to refer to this as an outbreak of coronanoia. I think we're all suffering a little bit from the fear that's circulating out there, the collective fear. Anyway, this kind of highlights really what I do want to talk about today and hopefully help shift what we're all sort of focusing on here. The most important thing that you can control is your state of mind. So what are you focusing on? What are you focusing on during this scary time? It's very easy to get fixated on getting more information because we think that's going to help us, but often it's an information overload of just bad news and fear. We need to focus on the things we can control. Are you focusing on the things you can't control? Like what's happening in the world and scary what if worst case scenarios like death, illness, or lack of toilet paper. I mean, this seems to be on most people's minds. Anyway, or on things we can control, like our state of mind, our attitude, Social distancing, hand washing, and self-care are obviously, those are very important, but we are more likely to do those things if we have our state of mind in the right place. So when it comes to what we can control, I think we got to shift away from this survival-based, fear-based fight or flight trigger that's been going off for most of us. It's like whenever we're in fear mode, when we're in threat mode, sorry about that. When we're in threat mode, 1,000 chemical reactions occur, and we release cortisol and adrenaline, and shallow breathing begins as blood rushes to our extremities, our digestion and our immune system shut down because we need to punch or run from the threat. Now, when it comes to running or punching from COVID-19, obviously that's less than useless. So what ends up happening, since we're not doing something about it, is our mind ends up racing and being over-focused. So we can become too survival focused. And this can also cause us to become a little more self-absorbed because our consciousness narrows on our survival. And this can cause people also to become more irritable or more aggressive. You may have noticed that being confined in a small space with your families. And we also get over-focused on the threat, on the bad news. So the other interesting thing about this kind of fear and fight or flight response is it's not just our consciousness that narrows in on the problem and the threat. Literally, our vision comes in. So our peripheral vision comes in and is smaller. So I actually am going to get back to that in a little bit and give you some techniques to help you with that. This is basically what I'm talking about with this fight or flight issue. So right here behind the eyes is the limbic system. This is your emotional-based memories and the stress response, that fight or flight response, right there in the amygdala. This tells you when to feel threatened, usually based on past experience. And what happens when there is a threat, this could be a snake or it could be coronavirus, we don't have whole brain processing. We get hijacked into this fight or flight response. And so instead of thinking and feeling our way through something, we can get stuck in this hijack and this fight, flight, freeze response. It's only us humans that can do this in response to a scary thought. So we don't even have to have a predator or an imminent physical threat. We can just be having a scary thought. So that's important for our purposes today and what we want to try to make a difference in. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys, and this is, I consider this just a really quick little mind hack that immediately kind of gives the good news to that part of the brain, to the limbic area and the reptilian survival area, that there's no threat. Okay, so this looks silly, but it's highly effective. So what we're going to do is just open up our peripheral vision. So what you need to do is just look straight ahead. And as you do that, bring your hands out to the side and just wiggle your fingers until you come back to where you almost can't see them anymore. Because you're looking forward, but you can still see your fingers in your peripheral vision. And then bring them back a little more. And that will start to open up your peripheral vision. Your eyes will follow that, and that will open up. And I just notice every time I do that, if I'm a little stressed, my breathing gets slower and my shoulders drop. And you might have noticed that yourselves. Highly effective and very quick. So I hope you can all, just keep that in mind as a very quick thing you can do whenever you notice that your breathing is getting shallow or you're starting to have scary thoughts, because that goes right to the limbic and survival part of the brain and says, no threat. We're just in wide angle view, hanging out here, chilling. We're not focused in on something scary. Okay, Technique number 2 is basically got to do just with mindfulness and grounding. So we can focus the mind and get us out of that stress response when we get very present. A lot of people who actually have a lot of trauma as children can also get stuck in something called dissociation. They're almost kind of stuck in a freeze response and kind of out of body. And that actually makes us more anxious. We are more calm when we are embodied and grounded and centered. So think about you're just activating all of your senses. That can really quickly help bring you kind of back to being present, where if you look around right now, there's no threat, there's no predator, there's no immediate physical danger. So mindfulness and grounding can help us do that. We can take a mindfulness walk and focus on colors and textures and things as we walk and just name things, or we can just do it by sitting down. So let's do it right now. What you're going to do is look at something across the room and look at the color and the texture, and then you're going to look at something really close to you and just look at the color and the texture. You're orienting is what we're doing. And then you want to listen. You want to orient to a sound, maybe something that you hear outside. And then you want to listen to maybe the direction of the sound of my voice. Third, you want to touch. Okay, so you want to, I've got my sidekick, my trusty assistant, Luca, right here. So she's always here to help my clients. And so I say, okay, pet Luca. And feel the difference between Luca's little fur there and maybe like the couch or the chair or the texture of your pants. So you're feeling tactile differences. And then smell. Smell is very important. In fact, it gets your olfactory bulb right back probably faster than any of your other senses. I always keep aromatherapy in my office. So if somebody's dissociating, I can go, okay, put the aromatherapy up to your nose, and it helps bring them back into the present instead of being in a scary place in the back of their mind. Anyway, so then finally, we're going to do grounding. So I want you to picture your feet almost being like these big tree roots that go deep, deep, deep into the center of the earth and wrap around rich gems and soil and minerals. And just feel Mother Earth supporting you and coming all the way up your little feet roots, up your legs, up your whole spine, kind of lifting you up, lengthening and strengthening you, and giving you this sense of being very grounded and supported by Mother Earth. That's mindfulness and grounding. So that can bring you back and just help you feel more centered because you're embodied. So those are the first 2 tips, and now I'm going to give you the third one. The third one is the big kahuna for today because it's based on the latest heart and brain science. This is called coherent heart breathing, and a lot of this is based on the HeartMath Institute. They've been seeing thousands of people and validated the health and wellness benefits emotionally and physically for thousands of people, and done a lot of scientific studies, hundreds of studies. So if you would like to learn more about this, you can go to heartmath.org. But right now, I just want to explain sort of a little bit about how this technique works before we get into it. So basically, humans, we don't like change, and we certainly don't like scary, unexpected change. So it turns out that one of the best ways to decrease this kind of stress and overwhelm is to access the intelligence and the rhythms of our heart. The heart actually has a neural network of its own. It's sort of referred to often as the second brain, kind of like the gut is. And it sends out more signals from the heart to the brain than the brain does to the heart. It has afferent signals. And our mental clarity, our emotional stability, actually then therefore comes more from the heart than the brain. The heart also emits an electromagnetic field, And it's 5,000 times stronger than the one emitted from our brain, right? We are electrical beings. If you've had an EEG, an EKG, you know that that's measuring the electromagnetic frequency in your heart and in your head. And also, if you're one of the people that's ever had your heart restarted, it's because of electricity. So let me just show you what that field looks like. They've actually been able to document this scientifically, so I can show you what that field looks like. The one around your heart is stronger and much bigger than the one that comes out around your head. And it's affecting the people that we're near. And what is in your heart field is your thoughts and feelings, just like your head. And it affects whoever you're near. I want to show you exactly what that looks like. Oh my gosh, this is, I have to figure out how to do this. Okay, I hope that's straight. I hope you can see that. So it's all based on this science of coherence, which measures the pattern in the heart's rhythm, okay? And so to keep ourselves emotionally and physically healthy, our immune system working optimally, we need to know how to contain the fear and get ourselves out of the stress response. So this is, I think, one of the most fastest and most helpful ways to do this, especially if you can do this technique at least 5 minutes a day, twice a day. So I want to show you how this, you can see that the, oops, I switched too fast. You can see how the EMF field of one person is affecting the person that they're closest to, which is basically why we can sort of feel people's energy. It's a real thing. We know this from quantum physics and from the latest science here. So the next picture I want to show you is really cool. This is the heart rhythms of our emotions and how it affects our heart rate. So your emotions are reflected in your heart rhythm patterns, okay? When you're stressed or expressing negative emotions like that top one, fear, anger, resentment, frustration, your heart rhythm pattern looks very chaotic. You can see that. And you have an incoherent heart rhythm, okay? So your access to having adult problem solving and that the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's in charge of executive functions and thinking creatively and having perspective, is all impaired when your heart waves are incoherent. You'll also have more trouble sleeping. Your immune system will be lowered. Your respiratory and cardiovascular systems are dysregulated. However, when you're expressing positive emotions like love, joy, gratitude, compassion, like this, the heart waves on the bottom, you're creating a state of coherence, okay? A coherent heart rhythm pattern. So it looks smooth, ordered, and stable. And it helps your body system synchronize and work better. So it enhances your ability to think clearly, learn, remember, reason, and make optimal decisions. In fact, a lot of business executives and pro athletes use this technique regularly. So think of it like all these systems like respiratory, endocrine, blood pressure, as being like 3 or 4 metronomes in a room, and they're all, if it's desynchronized, they're all going at different beats, okay? What happens with this heart rate, heart coherence breathing that I'm going to show you is it's like all the metronomes now all of a sudden start to synchronize. So respiratory, endocrine, heart, blood pressure symptoms all start synchronizing. This improves your immune system and every system in your body, especially your emotional well-being. And that depends on what are you feeling. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to wait for something good to happen, if maybe we could just create this state ourselves and create this sense of well-being? That's what I'm going to show you now. Okay, so if you do this daily, you will notice that you will become more emotionally and physically resilient than ever before. This is a really, really effective technique. So first, everybody just kind of get relaxed, and we're going to just set an intention to send love or healing to yourself or to someone else in whatever way you desire. or you can just focus on something or someone or anything that you really appreciate. Often when it comes to gratitude and appreciation, it's better, the more simple the thing, the better. And just for right now, maybe just energetically sense that, we are all connected. This is an opportunity to open your heart and not just think of yourself, but also of our humanity, the big community of humanity. We want to be here for other people, and we want to be able to be of service. We, I think, are basically inherently altruistic beings, and connecting and helping others is one of the ways that we feel the happiest and have the most sense of well-being and purpose in life. So just setting that intention right now, that's the first step. Just send love or healing to yourself or to someone else, or just focus on that emotion of gratitude, okay? And now we're gonna breathe in and out for the count of 6. We're gonna breathe in for 6, hold for 6, breathe out for 6. So this is just slowing down our breathing. Okay, so breathing in. And breathe in for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do one more, slowing your breathing. Breathing in for 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. Now I just want you to bring your consciousness down and actually focus on the area of your heart, okay? Sometimes it helps even to put your hand there. That in itself is soothing. And now bring your consciousness down here and imagine that you are breathing in and out through your heart. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine that you can feel that love, that healing, that appreciation for someone that you really care about. And feel the emotions, okay? Feel the love, feel the compassion. This is the most important part, is to actually be really bringing up the feeling of love, compassion, kindness, appreciation as strongly as you can. So just take a moment. This emotional connection is what creates that coherent heart rate, brain waves, EMF fields, and it creates a signal, and it's broadcast to every cell in your body and out into that space around you, like I showed you earlier. So this is the best thing you can do for your immune system and for anybody that you care about. So it's really getting connected to that emotion of sending someone you care about that love, that healing, that compassion, or thinking very strongly about something you love unconditionally and feeling it. Luca helps me out with that one a lot. And you want to feel that, or you want to just get in touch with that gratitude, that appreciation. It can just be, I'm looking out at a beautiful green tree, and that feeling in nature that I get. I'm really appreciating that right now. As you continue to breathe in and out through your heart, keep the breathing going as you're feeling those emotions of gratitude or love or compassion. These emotions actually have a vibrational frequency to them, and they are the highest vibrational frequency, which is why it has an effect on our heart rate. And just keep breathing in and out to that count of 6. Luke is doing it too. And now I like to add a little loving kindness meditation. So with your eyes closed, you just want to send this person, even if it's to yourself, these words. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. And then you might want to feel them sending that love and that loving kindness message back to you. Or even saying to yourself, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be filled with peace and loving kindness. And just take a moment and just sense how your heart space has actually grown larger because you have brought more energy, more blood flow, more oxygen flowing through your heart. And this takes me to the last tip, which is going to help you be even better at that heart coherent breathing. And that is to keep a gratitude journal. It refocuses our mind on what we appreciate, on what's okay, so that we get away from that zoom lens on stress or negativity, and we open up to the big picture, where we can see there are a lot of good things that are happening. So there is still beauty, there is still love, there is still friendship and healing and grace all over the world, all around us. People are helping and being of service, and there's a lot of kindness and courage and humor, and all of those things are still with us. So it's kind of an opportunity to also find a deeper meaning, to reevaluate our priorities, maybe heal relationships or resentments, by refocusing our minds on what do we appreciate. It's often helpful when you're doing your gratitude journal, and there is something magic about writing it, because studies show that that is the thing. When you write every day what you're grateful for, your mind starts to change its default position and focus more on the positive things. And so you do have a less negativity bias, which we all have because we're all survival-based beings. So we want to focus on where the problem is first. But keeping a gratitude journal actually helps us to shift that default position to focusing more on the bigger picture and the good things that we have in our life. And that always helps to balance things out when things are going down. I find it's helpful often to focus on the little things that they are best to appreciate, and to also find new things every day to put in your gratitude journal. At least 5 things. Speaking of humor, I wanted to find a couple of the funniest things that my friends have sent me this week. So if you're going to the store, you might want to suit up. Can you guys see this? Humor is one of the better ways to turn on that parasympathetic calm state of mind and get you out of sympathetic dominance, like when we're in fight or flight. And what was the other one I really liked? Oh, this is a good one. If you're having trouble not touching your face, there's a man with a cone on his head, and his dog's telling him, it's for your own good. You can't stop touching your face. What was the other one I really liked? Oh, here's one. Okay. You can't see the caption on this, but I've started coloring to manage my stress and anxiety. And sometimes there just aren't enough crayons. Anyway, I would love for you to send me yours if you have them. I think that it's important to remember we are all in this together, and when we stay home and don't get sick, we stay safe and calm. We are doing not only what is best for us and our families, but for the whole world. I hope these suggestions were helpful. They will have the best effect if done regularly. So you continue to take control over your state of mind, doing that heart rate coherence, breathing, peripheral vision, grounding and centering, and your gratitude journal. Just integrating those in your daily routine will help keep you calm. You'll be a lot less likely to go into fight or flight if you're doing these things regularly. Anyway, if you would like to join me in 2 weeks for another meeting, for more evidence-based tips to help you de-stress, then go ahead and press 1 over there in the comments. And also feel free to give me feedback and send me issues you might like to have addressed in the next webcast on April 12th at 3 o'clock. I also have a website, drkathleenmojas.com. And I only just recently started a podcast, and it's called Dear Brain, Knock It Off, with more evidence-based stress relieving tips. So anyway, remember, we all need to stay grounded and healthy for our immune systems and our loved ones, and the whole world. My assistant is going to put the information on how to reach me in the comments, and I'm looking to see what your questions might be, so we can spend a little time with helping to address these things directly. Hi, Trefford. Okay. Okay. So some people are, also feeling very isolated, and so during this time, it's very important to reach out, to stay connected. That's sometimes tough for us to do, even when things are okay. That everybody has access to Zoom. I think it's getting overloaded. It's really easy to start a Zoom group and to connect. My friends have a really great one going on. And I think it's really helpful to think about things like this. Continue your 12-step programs online. Start your own Zoom meeting. Just get your friends involved and pick a time of the day, once a week or on the weekend or in the evenings, where you can check in, because we are all feeling a little isolated, and it can be tough because we're used to human contact, but what's dangerous for us right now? Human contact. But some people are also struggling with, the being stuck inside with family members, and that can actually be kind of dangerous for some people, because as I said before, when fear is up, often irritation and aggression is up. You've probably seen a little bit of this, especially if we're kind of all cooped in together. And I actually heard a really disturbing statistic this morning. They were saying that since the lockdown, there was 36% increase in domestic violence calls in France. So if it's happening in France, it's probably happening everywhere. So we all need these techniques. We all need to find ways to stay parasympathetic dominant, which is, that rest, restore, repair, digest part of our nervous system, and stay out of that sympathetic fight or flight or freeze, because we don't even have our thinking brain online when we're stuck in that. Hopefully there's a lot of help. I mean, I think that people can't really go to shelters right now, but it's important to reach out if you're in trouble where you are and you're not safe. I think there is help available. So there are lots of numbers you can call, hotlines, and reach out at least to a friend. We want to make sure that students. Okay, that's another request I'm getting is it's kind of hard. So many students are used to interacting and having friends, and now they're stuck in their rooms. All the gamers are happy. They're like, thank God. Okay, but for people who like human contact, this is tough. So I think it's the same thing. Hopefully the teachers are the smartest ones that keep it interactive and actually are doing some kind of like a Zoom session where you can still see the teacher, see the other students, and connect. Someone's saying hi to Luca. Okay, hello. Anyway, so reach out to your friends. Don't sit and wait for somebody to reach out to you. If you need contact, reach out. And especially, this is hard on teenagers. It's being cooped up. They're used to being out with their friends. So do everything you can. I think, first of all, to help around the house. You might find that it actually makes you feel good to contribute more to the family, and maybe get reconnect with family members you've been a little distant from. I think it also helps if you have a pet that you become the primary caretaker of your pet and maybe do more of the walking and of the caring for your pet. Poor little Luca just had 10 teeth pulled. She's only got 9 left now. So she's still recovering from that trauma. So pets are so calming and soothing, and caring for your pet gives you a sense of responsibility and maturity. And so just doing things that help you feel good, that help you connect to your friends. You're all used to connecting on social media, but try to focus on positive stuff, not scary stuff. Let's see, what are some of the other questions? Yeah, thank goodness for social media right now for teenagers too. Okay. Yeah, it's a similar question. We're doing distant learning. This is from Mickey, and our students are feeling very overwhelmed and isolated. You know, a lot of people, for a lot of teenagers, family dinner has gone by the wayside. So it's really important that parents bring back the family dinner and have the kids kind of get reconnected to family right now. It's a reset. Think of it as a reset, because if they feel more connected to family and you're all kind of checking in around the dinner table, how's everybody doing? Maybe you can do a couple of these exercises together. It's helpful. I mean, they're not too old to need you. They need you. They need to know that you're there, that you're calm, that you're okay, because that's what's going to help their nervous systems be okay. That's what's going to help them calm down. I'm going to show you that electromagnetic field again so you can see how you are affecting their nervous system. So it's very important that parents get grounded and calm, because your kids are going to take their lead from you. So the more you can sort of be in that state of parasympathetic, I'm okay, you know, we're going to get through this, lots of reassurance, and also make sure there's fun. Lots of families are now doing more game nights in addition to family dinner, and pull out those board games. So do things that are fun together. Me and my kids love Gestures. It's a hilarious game, and laughing is necessary and needed right now. Let's see. I have a terrible habit of biting my fingers. I hate it, but it's so hard to keep my hands from my face. We'll go back to the dog cone. That one seems to be working well. Yeah, a lot of people have nervous habits, and right now everybody's nervous habits are through the roof. My OCD people are cleaning like crazy. I mean, you have to keep finding ways to cope, healthy ways. That's a nervous habit. It's often unconscious, so you want to become first very conscious of when it's happening. So you can put tape on your fingers. Every time you come up, you instead do your heart coherence breathing, do your peripheral vision. But you have to have a healthy way to cope to replace. You can't just stop a bad thing. You have to have a healthy coping mechanism to put in its place. So I find people putting tape on their fingers works. Sometimes there's vitamin mineral deficiencies that are involved in some of those kinds of habits. And this is a good time to break bad stress relieving habits and to create healthy habits. So you're replacing that. If I were you, I would, just write down make a sign and put it in your bathroom and in all the rooms in your house to say, do peripheral vision instead of finger biting, or do your heart coherence breathing, or do jumping jacks, instead of biting your nails, because you want to find a healthy way to release the stress. It's just tension is building, and then you get relief when you bite. It's a conditioned habit. So you can uncondition it by repeatedly doing something different than the finger biting. It's especially, a difficult time for people who are in recovery or trying to get into recovery, because if what you're used to doing during a time of stress is reaching for a substance, that's going to be big time right now. And again, you're going to need to have a healthy coping mechanism, something that decreases your stress aside from reaching for that drink or that substance. It's all kind of right here in the brain science about, how you get out of the stress response and get into that parasympathetic rest, restore, repair, digest mode. So you're not wanting to reach for that substance or that drink or the fingernails or the OCD cleaning or whatever it is you normally do. You can also call Luca. She's quite the self-promoter. Anyway, so the creating happy states of mind without waiting for something happy to happen is a skill, and you can all learn it. So just like we did today with that heart coherence breathing, you can reset your default from scary thoughts or negative thoughts to calming, happy, joyful, loving thoughts. And especially it's gratitude and thoughts of appreciation that can help reset that default. So if you're less stressed, you're less likely to be reaching for your nail or a substance or an unhealthy way of coping. I find reading, okay, this is Oscar. I find reading and journaling helps, and also meditating, blocking negative thoughts and living in the moment instead of anticipating the future. Excellent. Now, one thing I found really fascinating is that meditators don't necessarily have good heart coherence. But when they add the gratitude, the appreciation, then their heart coherence gets kicked in. So you're going to get a lot more health and emotional and physical health benefits from your meditation if you add the gratitude and appreciation piece. So let's see. I want to feel more positive and not ruminate about the future. Yes, that's really important for everyone. I'm finding myself trying to do unfinished projects at home. It's easy for us when we get stuck in fight or flight to start spinning and focusing on the problem and anything stressful. So that is actually a really good idea. I'm having all my clients just do some small, reasonable, easily achievable goals, because we not only need predictability that we get from maybe creating our own routine and then knowing what can we expect and predict for tomorrow. We need routine, but we also need novelty, and that we need like a challenge. So if you can, and that can absorb your focus. So I have a lot of people who have little workshops in their garage, home reorganization and cleaning projects. It really is. You got to think of this as an opportunity also just to do unfinished projects and to set small goals. Some people have been wanting to learn another language or get certified in a certain skill. This is a really good time to do something positive with your time. In addition to maybe reaching out and supporting others, especially people who might be isolated or the elderly, it's also a really good time to set small goals for yourself and feel like you're doing something productive and you're doing something good and positive with your time right now. It's hard to feel positive if you're just getting sort of stuck in zoning out on Netflix. There is definitely a place for that and a time for that, and it's most importantly, I think, watch comedies. I went to look for something and I ended up watching. I'm like, what is this? Oh, it was another outbreak movie. That's the last thing we need. So if you can focus on anything funny, movies, memes, all the better. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Audrey. And yeah, I think that I want to make sure everybody who needs it can get a copy of how to do the heart coherence, but it's basically a few simple steps. You just slow down your breathing. That's that 6 count. You get focused in on elevated emotion, a positive intention. You send love to someone, or as you're breathing in and out through your heart. So basically those 3 things are the main points. So if you're doing those 3 things, you're going to be getting that heart coherence and synchronizing all those different healthy systems in your body. I think it helps to think of the metronome analogy, because you can literally visualize the good things that you're doing for your health and your well-being as you do that exercise. So let's see if there's any other questions. Hi, Bianca. Okay. Okay, so I think we've kind of covered most of everything. If you, again, my assistant, Kai, who's doing an amazing job, will put up all my information. If anybody wants to email me with a question or a concern, or need me to reiterate any of the information, I think we are going to keep this posted so that it can be replayed. And Luca and I are, I guess, ready to say over and out. If there's no other questions or comments, I will have more different types of techniques and tips for you on April 12th, Sunday at 3 o'clock. So hopefully you'll sign up for that, and we'll see you then. And I would love to hear your suggestions too, and I would love to hear how you're giving back, how you're reaching out to support others, to help others during this difficult and stressful time. Most people find that when you are giving to other people, when you are helping someone and making a difference in their life, that you feel better. It helps you. I mean, in fact, with all this healing stuff that I was talking to you about with the heart coherence breath, that distance healing actually helps. I mean, we are disconnected and can't reach like our elderly parents or our loved ones. And so it does help to feel like you're doing something, to be sending them love from your heart and sending them the loving kindness meditation. That can, tell your mind, I'm doing something about this, because it actually does have healing benefits for the receiver. The important thing is it has even more benefits for the sender. So you being the sender of this healing and sending that love and that healing to someone actually has tremendous benefits for your immune system. Healing benefits on every level. And there's a lot of scientific studies that verify this fact. A lot of people are interested in this, distance learning, prayer, meditation, and the healing effects on the body. And who does it help the most? The giver or the receiver? It helps the giver. So doing good things for other people, sending healing and loving thoughts is good for us too. On that note, I hope everybody keeps thinking about how they can give back and help and be there for others during this difficult time. It's, again, we are part of that big community called humanity, and we don't want to just narrow our focus on self-preservation. We want to make sure that we care about everyone. So it is an opportunity to open our hearts and our minds and think of being productive of others and giving back to others. And I hope you send me, I would love to hear what you're all doing. So keep in touch, and I look forward to seeing you again on April 12th, and look forward to your questions and comments. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye. Bye.